At this hour, I'm Christina, Aguayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. A judge in Georgia has blocked a new rule put in place by the Georgia Board of Elections that ensures each ballot in the presidential election is hand-counted. The rule was passed back in September to make the November 5th election more secure and transparent. Judge Robert McBurney said in his decision that it was appropriate to pause the vote-counting rule because it introduced fresh uncertainty into the process just weeks before Election Day. The judge did not say the rule was illegal but needed further review. An appeals court could potentially reverse the decision, but it will be after the presidential election. Georgia, where early voting started in record numbers on Tuesday, is one of 7 battleground states that are likely to determine the result of the presidential election. Democrats celebrated McBurney's ruling as a win for the party. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said the owner of the abandoned dog, now known as Trooper, who was tied to a pole and left to die during Hurricane Milton, was identified and will now face prosecution for animal cruelty.
You don't just tie up a dog and have them out there for a storm. Totally unacceptable, and we're going to hold you accountable. Well, I'm proud to announce that authorities have identified the dog's former owners, and State Attorney Susie Lopez is now pursuing animal cruelty charges against the individuals.
About 1/3 of the surveillance cameras that are set up along the U.S Mexico border don't work. That's according to an internal Border Patrol memo that said the inoperable cameras are posing a, quote, significant impact on Border Patrol operations. Of the 500 cameras that are set up on towers along the border to help agents spot illegal migrants and traffickers coming into the country, about 150 are out of play, and it's not clear how long they've been down. The memo, obtained by NBC, said, quote, several technical problems and outdated equipment and repairs that need to be made are to blame. Last week, the Border Patrol Union in Laredo, Texas, told its members that they are also concerned that the cameras are causing serious officer safety issues. A Venezuelan gang member who police say was recruiting middle school kids in Houston has been arrested by Texas troopers. 32-year-old Jorgenis Robertson Cova came into the country illegally during the Biden-Harris administration and, according to police, has been recruiting the school-aged kids to join the violent Tren de Aragua gang. According to local media, people who live in the community are shocked and calling for an increased police presence. Governor Greg Abbott has launched a gang task force that operates across the state and is part of a crackdown on the violent prison gang. President Donald Trump had to give an economic lesson on tariffs to Bloomberg's editor-in-chief during the Economic Forum in Chicago. Trump even giving a real-time example of how his system is the best plan for the country. Watch.
It must be hard for you to, spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong. It'll have a negative. It will have John Deere, great company. They announced about a year ago they're going to build big plants outside of the United States, right? I said, if John Deere builds those plants and not selling anything into the United States, they just announced yesterday they're probably not going to build the plants.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced that Texas National Guard engineers are busy at work in Eagle Pass, reinforcing the razor wire barriers that are set up along the banks of the Rio Grande River. Abbott recently started a 142-mile project starting in Brownsville, where troopers are setting up the CCC razor wire and anti-climb barrier along the U.S.-Texas border. Abbott saying that he will continue to protect the southern border and the nation from dangerous open border policies that have let tens of millions of unvetted illegal migrants into the country. Just days after CBS's 60 Minutes was called out for selectively editing Kamala Harris's interview to make her look good, Speaker Mike Johnson is saying CBS has selectively edited his interview to cover for the Biden-Harris administration. Listen.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. And when I was there on the ground, and you should go, bring the cameras and talk to the people there. They'll tell you, don't take politicians' words for this or the administration's word. Talk to the people there on the ground. They had not been provided the resources almost 2 weeks out from the storm that they desperately needed.
A new poll by Gallup has revealed that the American public's trust in the mainstream media has hit a new all-time low. In fact, the report shows that the news media is trusted less than even Congress. That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina, Aguayo, Salem News Channel.